Over the last several episodes, we've covered evidence, psychology, missteps, media influence, and the moment when the JonBenét Ramsey case stopped functioning like an investigation and started functioning like a story. In Part 5, we examined how that happened, how belief hardened, how narrative overtook method, and how certainty arrived long before clarity. But before we move into the listener Q&A episode, there's one more step we need to take. We need to talk about questions. Not theories, not conclusions, but questions. One of the quiet dangers in long-running unsolved cases is that answers begin to feel more satisfying than questions. Answers give closure. Questions require patience. But in cases like JonBenét Ramsey's, answers often come too early, built on incomplete information, emotional response, or narrative momentum. Good investigations don't rush toward answers. They slow down and ask, what do we actually know? What are we assuming? What no longer makes sense? And what questions still haven't been given space? That's where this next episode lives. The upcoming listener Q&A episode is not about crowdsourcing theories or voting on conclusions. It's about clarifying the unresolved. Some of the questions we've already received fall into important categories. Procedural questions about the investigation itself. Psychological questions about behavior and interpretation. Timeline questions that still feel unsettled. And questions about what has changed and what hasn't in the years since. These are the kinds of questions that keep cases honest. They don't demand certainty. They demand rigor. One thing we've seen repeatedly in this series is how belief can quietly replace inquiry. Once someone believes they know what happened, questions start to feel unnecessary, or in some cases even threatening. But belief is not evidence. And the purpose of this series has never been to tell you what to think. It's been to show you where the case holds, where it fractures, and where it refuses to resolve. The Q&A episode is an opportunity to return to that mindset together. Now, if you've been listening to this series and there's a question that keeps coming back to you, something that maybe doesn't sit right, something that hasn't been addressed clearly, or something you think deserves deeper examination, this is your opportunity. Send the question to me so that I can answer it on the upcoming listener Q&A. There's a few ways that you can do it. Go to MidnightMysteryArchive.com. Right there on the homepage are all the socials for the podcast. Feel free to submit me a question on your social of choice. The other option, you can email me directly. MidnightMysteryArchive@gmail.com. Your questions, they don't need to be polished. They don't need to be definitive. They just need to be honest. And I'll be happy to answer them on Part 6, the Listener Q&A. You can also join the official Midnight Mystery Archive Facebook group. It's linked in the episode description, where listeners can come discuss the cases we cover on the podcast, but in addition to that, cases that are in the news. It's not a space for accusations or theories. It's a place for careful and positive discussion. In the next episode, the listener Q&A, we're going to answer whatever questions you send in. I'm looking forward to it. Now, bear in mind, we're not going to close the case. We all know that. But the goal is to make sure we're asking the right questions. Because in unresolved cases, the quality of the questions often matters more than the certainty of the answers. This has been the Midnight Mystery Archive, the Part 5 mini episode of the JonBenét Ramsey investigation, and I'll see you Friday for our listener Q&A. Until next time.